Hello dear viewers and audience members. If you are 70 years or older or will soon reach this age, does today's news concern you? Direct Germany has an important decision made in November which comes into effect in 2025. It concerns their driving license. It's about new rules, which is for all senior citizens aged 70 and over. Many people are concerned. Some wonder if they will lose their driver's license. Others, they have no idea what to expect. Therefore, today I would like to tell you everything and I'll explain the details. I'd like to show what is changing, who it affects and what you need to do now. Stay with me until the very end, because they also give you important tips on how to best prepared. My name Olaf is here and I'm here on this channel at home to tell people like you about important changes to pensions, social benefits and everything that affects the everyday life is influenced, to inform. Today we're talking about a topic that millions of people in Germany concerns. For many senior citizens, a driving license is more than just a piece of equipment paper. It means freedom, it means independence. That means they can go to the doctor, friends visit or simply shop without to be dependent on others. However, the government has confirmed that from November new rules will apply in 2025. These rules, they are intended to increase road safety and both older drivers and others protecting road users. I know that many of them might be nervous. That's perfectly understandable. But I assure you that these rules are fair. They shouldn't give you the revoke your driver's license. Simply ensure that all road users are healthy and are fit to drive. I'll explain to you everything step by step. In the end, this video will tell you exactly what you need to know, when you need to do it and how you can prepare. What exactly changes? So, from November 2025 onwards, the federal government has decided that all driving license holders aged 70 and over years regularly checked their fitness to drive must provide proof. This means that they should get checked out every few years from this age onwards. A medical examination must undergo. This examination checks whether she is still physically fit enough to drive safely. This is not a German invention. Many European countries have already similar regulations. In Italy, for example, drivers aged 80 and over must see a doctor every 2 years. Visit them. There are also some in the Netherlands. Regular checkups for older people. Germany is attracting now, since the number of older drivers rises and the government wants to improve road safety. In order to clarify, this rule means it's not that you automatically retire at 70. Losing your driver's license. Completely on the contrary. It simply means that they must prove that they still are fit to drive. If you are healthy, their eyesight and reaction time, if everything is in good condition, there is no reason to worry. Who exactly is affected by this new regulation? It will apply from November 2025 for everyone who are already 70 years old or older. This also applies to everyone who follows this date, turning 70 years old. That means, if you are 70 years old in December 2025, you will have to comply with the new rules. Pay attention to this point in time. Whether you are in a major city like Berlin or Munich or living in the countryside plays a role in this. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference whether they daily or only occasionally drive. The rule applies to everyone. Driving license holders aged 70 and over throughout Germany. Important to know this. This rule applies only to the Class B car driving license. For trucks and bus drivers were already subject to stricter regulations. Rules applied to these vehicle classes. Regular health checkups always been a duty. In the following, I will explain the new regulations in more detail. From November 2025, you have to undergo a certain procedure. Every 5 years undergo a medical examination. This examination must be performed by a licensed physician. Your family doctor or a specialist can do this. For traffic medicine. In this, the examination will determine if you, due to her health, continue to the impact on everyday life is enormous. Those who frequently rent cars, uses car sharing services or vehicles suffering from friends, is covered by the IKFC app benefit. A screenshot of the digital vehicle registration document can be used immediately shared automatically by the app verified and recognized during inspections. The Federal Institute for Motor Vehicles and experts such as the ADC emphasize the advantages. No more searching for documents during traffic stops, lower risk of losing important paperwork, faster and smoother procedures for vehicle-related services.
There will be legal consequences if it contains important driving documents. The financial influence is subtle, but significant. The production and use of the IKFZ app is free, but the digital documentation will have an impact on insurance, registration processes, and rental procedures. Whoever uses the system mastering this early on benefits from faster processing times and fewer bureaucratic delays. Those who ignore the changeover risk, confusion, delays, and potentially stressful encounters with authorities that are increasingly relying on digital. The inspection is prepared. The message is clear. Preparation is crucial. Knowledge is power and early. Using it offers tangible advantages. Drivers will enter the year 2026. Germany is entering a new era of mobility. The digital driving license, together with the already available digital vehicle registration document, is not only for technological innovation, but for a fundamental change, such as citizens interact with the law, managing documents, and their daily lives design, from city streets to rural highways. From the rental car over the weekend until proof of identity checks, convenience, safety, and the speed of digital documents will redefining the driving experience. And although the physical documents, the IKFZ, shows that they will remain valid, the app is the future, a world in which mobility, technology, and law. How will this therefore affect you as a driver? What effect will it have? That's the part everyone needs to know. I really want to know. If you regularly in rural or driving on unpaved roads, you will determine that the specified or standard speed limits in areas where there were previously none, there was signage, now possibly are lower than the known 100 kilometers per hour. That could take a little longer. Travel time means what's worthwhile. If you regularly commute or undertake regional trips, for not sealed roads will be a specifically defined standard limit. Give what drivers today expect from these are not used to roads, and it requires a conscious adaptation to the driving habits. On the positive side, that this change at the national level is implemented, and the exceeding state or territorial borders, it should become significantly more consistent. This is great news for everyone. Long car journeys or regional go on road trips. This means, however, it also means that the federal states intensify their enforcement measures, including more radar cameras, updated signage, and more police patrols in the areas affected by the new limit values in affected areas. To avoid fines or penalties, it is all the more important to observe the specified to comply with limit values. For drivers who work, travel, or regularly visit remote areas, is this a change that attention and a proactive approach to road safety requires? Of course, no change is necessary without debate, and this one is not one exception. It is worth noting that the reduction of standard speed limit directly to improved security and a reduction in deaths in high-risk rural areas and likely contributes to remote roads. Furthermore, it achieves national consistency. The drivers who frequently crossing national borders helps to know what to expect, and so on. Confusion and uncertainty reduced. Furthermore, it encourages the state governments and territories that regulate road laws in such a way reform so that they actually reflect the condition of their roads, especially unsealed or narrower roads. On the other hand, Some drivers might not feeling that their travel times will be extended, especially in the case of longer regional journeys, can also be a certain degree of surprise or frustration about a #0. Increased enforcement is less than #0. One hash is greater than, especially for drivers who are familiar with and not yet aware of the new limit values are. Some regional communities might be of the opinion that the changes are punitive because they are for the daily traffic. Work and essential services heavily reliant on these roads depend on it, and there the implementation of federal state to the state will vary. Furthermore, it may initially lead to, this may cause some confusion, since different regions, different and effective dates, or signage introductions determine which drivers carefully you need to navigate. So, what should you do now to prepare for these changes to prepare? Stay informed for now. Check the website regularly, their state or territorial road transport authorities updates, changes to the signage, and announcements regarding new standard limits. Secondly, be especially vigilant. If you are in remote or driving on unpaved roads, even if a street seems familiar to you, new speed limits can be introduced, and it is important to pay attention to the signs that will guide you, perhaps you hadn't noticed it before, are. Thirdly, adjust your travel expectations. Plan something. More time for journeys for which now possibly lower speed limits apply. Fourth, always respect the signage. M.